Yes, if you could allow me to speak.
Nope. Not today. I actually wore that shirt today, too.
Yeah. All right. Well, first off, there's going to be humor. There's going to be some, I wouldn't say
There will be
dark,
blood.
but a little bit on the crude side. We will try and keep it down to a minimum, PG-13, or at least a Disney movie, the old ones. However, all of our humor is satirical in nature, and let's see, how do I say that we're sorry that we make fun of something in like 5 different ways?
I'm gonna say what he said. So,
All right.
in other news, sorry if I kind of stole the floor from you, but
Nah, it's all right, man. Go ahead.
I figured you were getting close to being done anyways. In other news, we
Yeah.
actually have a guest with us, Black Knight. Did you turn around and quit
Good
running from
evening.
me? I will slap you with the torch.
I said good evening.
Run now! That's a great start. Okay, so tonight
It's
we're
there for the
actually
video,
gonna.
not for the podcast.
Really? What just happened? Somebody want to explain that to me?
On my screen, it
Zombie!
says that you were blown up by a creeper, then slain by a zombie 2 seconds later. I don't know exactly how that happened, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just walk away slowly.
That's what I do.
Anyway, our discussion of the day is going to be what makes a game. Now, originally last week, we said we were going to be talking about what makes a good game. However, after talking it out, we wanted to broaden the scope a bit.
You'll get away from my
a bit
stuff.
more into detail, not just about what makes a
I'm gonna
good
give it to
game,
you.
but what makes a
I'm just
game
collecting it all so it
entirely.
doesn't disappear.
Hey, so today's topic will be what makes a game, and we will add that
moving,
what makes a
creeper.
good game and all that good stuff.
Maverick, turn around. There's a creeper coming this way. Gang.
He's locked on me.
If you
Kill
guys
him.
could allow
Kill
me
him.
to,
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Come on, dude. Just
you guys
whack
could
him.
allow me to speak. I mean,
Sorry, we're working on a creeper here.
you do know that you guys just need to back away to the point where you're out of its
We're
blast
trying to get
range,
the-
and then.
Never
Gunpowder, I
mind.
know.
You see nothing.
However, you have. It's
All
all right,
right.
guys. Okay, one other thing we should also point
Can I have
out
stuff
is
back,
that
please?
during the live stream portion of this, we will also be taking a look at comments from our viewers, and we'll be trying to interact with them periodically throughout the show. So, without further ado, I think we should get started on the conversation while we're just running around getting stuff done. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a good plan to me. Hopefully we won't die from creepers anymore. But in the off chance we do, expect it.
Literally 5
Yeah.
minutes before the live stream portion of this started, I got blown up by a creeper and I got set flying sky high in the death camera.
That I wish I could have seen.
I wish I could have recorded that, but it's too late now.
So, on a side note, shout out to an old friend of mine who's actually watching us right now. Dominic, welcome back. I have got to talk to you some other time, too. Don't let me forget that. How much stuff did I have?
A lot. By the way, the only thing left was my map. I didn't have anything because I got blown up. I got blown all the way to next century.
Well, then, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And Dominic's comment was hoe the creeper to death. Gotta say, I'm with
Yes,
Dominic
that's
on
what I
this
did.
one.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing what I did. Thank you. It was kind of funny that you say it out loud.
Well, I mean, you didn't quite do it.
No
You
comment.
tried.
I killed it, didn't I? More or less.
I
More or
was
less.
thinking
You
more
gotta give
along
him
the
that.
lines of stick it on the street corner, make it pay the bills for a little while.
Don't come this way at all, by the way. There's another creeper down here, and he wants to say hi, but I'm going to run the opposite direction.
Cool. Bring them
All
to
right,
me.
we
I got a
have
sword.
gotten off topic a lot,
It
so
happens.
Yes,
let's
yes, we
try and
have.
get into the conversation. One thing I will be trying to do is make sure that my compatriot here does not get off topic too much. I know
No
that is a
promises.
very tall order, but we'll see what happens.
Maverick behind me.
First off, what makes a game? You have to acknowledge that it is a very colossal undertaking, especially in this day and age, to even consider making a video game. And first off, I believe that video games, they're a make or break situation in the planning stage. You need to figure out what the game is going to be. Is it going to be an action adventure game focused on melee combat only? Is it going to be a first person shooter? Is it going to be a real time strategy game? Is it going to be some kind of horror puzzle game? And just for the record, I've actually seen a couple of horror puzzle games, so they didn't really work out too well for me, hence the make or break situation.
There was
And then
one.
after that, you needed. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there was one on the iPod that an ex-girlfriend of mine used to play. I forget what it was, but you were basically trying to help this. It was kind of like Clue. You had just the still screen, but there were things you could interact on with it. And ooh, a piece of candy. And the whole goal was to try to help her escape. And I'm not going to give a spoiler alert or spoilers, but I think the game's name was Ellie or something like that.
I think I've heard of that too, just not familiar with the name.
Yeah, I've tried finding it. I've had no luck, but then again, it was also like 5 years ago, something like that. I don't know. But then again, I'm one of those people that you take with you to when you're gonna go do those breakout room type things where they lock you in for an hour and do the problem solving. So one of those actually just opened up by me, and I need to figure that out. But we're not talking about a game, or we're not talking about those games tonight. We're talking about video games.
We're just talking about games in general, not a specific game, just games.
Okay, well, if we're talking
What
about
can make or break them?
if we're talking about games and not just video games, Monopoly, I think, has gone a long way for being a financial aid game. That's literally
Okay,
how
right.
Monopoly got started. Unless you
Okay.
say I'm going off topic now, which I would have to argue.
Okay.
Because,
Well,
Monopoly.
then let's
There's so many ways you
go
can
back to
have an
video
argument
games.
with that.
But,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
I mean,
go back to video games.
all right, fine, be that way. But no, I completely agree with you. In this day and age, doing anything, it seems, is taking a huge risk. As a matter of fact, the fact that it's free that we can, well, it's not even technically free that we can put on this podcast / video. It's, there are expenses in it, but it's not, it's a minimal risk. Versus starting up a video game is, jeez. The financial risk alone is massive, but
You got to throw
anything else.
millions into that.
I mean, well, maybe not necessarily millions, but there's definitely, also,
There's
let's
definitely
not.
a sum.
Yes, exactly. There's the equipment, then there's the skills that you have to develop, and most of the time you've pretty much got to go to a school for that.
Ow.
Don't walk in front of me. And, I mean, even just learning the skills off of, lest I say it, YouTube. You're still technically losing money on that because you want to get whacked again until you die, don't you? I mean, you're still losing your time. I mean, the most valuable thing you have in this world is not money, not gold, but time. Time is the key to just about anything.
Ain't that the truth?
So, I will let
But
you proceed.
Yeah. And just even besides time, there's way more than just the concept stage. After you get past the concept stage of what your game's going to be and I'm just going to throw out a random example.
He
to,
says random, and I'm going to get more emails about copyrights.
No, I mean a random example for a game genre that someone's going to develop.
It's a
All right,
joke.
so let's say
it's a joke.
Let's say, okay, fine. Let me continue. Let's say this guy wants to make a first-person shooter. Not a military shooter, just a first-person shooter in which some random guy, let's see. What would he do? I would say that I could say that it's like a crime sandbox, but at the same time, that would kind of be ripping off a certain game that we know.
We do.
Actually, be ripping off multiple games. You know, all right, you know what? Never mind. First-person shooter.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Everything's a trap.
Did you forget who's in the podcast? Who you have in this podcast?
All right, so let's say you want to develop a first-person shooter where you can basically do anything sandbox-wise, and it's based on crime. Like, let's say you're a criminal and you can do whatever you want. And it seems like a good idea in theory. Okay, so let's see how you can actually make that a reality. First off, you need to figure out what everything looks like. You said you wanted to make it a sandbox. Well, you need to provide the sandbox. What's the sandbox going to be? How big is it going to be? Is it going to be extremely huge and rewards exploration? Is it going to be extremely small? And I know I already said this, but I'll repeat myself again. Will it reward exploration, or is it just something to run around in?
And how interactive is it going to be?
Exactly.
Like, are you going to have? Like, are you going to be able to do PvP, player versus player, or just, you know?
Yeah, and a single player versus multiplayer. Another thing that you need to get into, because games these days seem to be leaning more towards multiplayer for the big market. Yeah. Well, I personally prefer both in a game, where you have a decent single player and a decent multiplayer, like icing on the cake or the cherry on top. But that's just me. I could just be thinking like some old geezer. Who knows? And so now you have the concept down. Now you need to, first off, computer generate everything. And sometimes you can't procedurally generate it. You can't just throw it into a machine and say, all right, here you go. Oh, you need to figure out how you want your character to look. Then you need to program it. You need to go onto that computer and make sure that the character looks exactly the way you want it. Then afterwards, you need to program the environment. Make sure that the environment does exactly what you want it to. And this is going to get into glitch territory, but you want to make sure that your gamers aren't going to be phasing through the world on a regular basis.
Come on, the best parts happen when we phase through the world. You know that to be true.
Thing is, we're not ghosts.
Maybe
we cannot phase through objects. And any game that tries to focus on realism in some tiny bit, whether it be via combat or via story, like even science fiction. Most science fiction these days, whether it be story or game, is centered around realism in some form or another. So you need to add some place of ground to go to. Having said that, now that you have your world, now that you have your character, you need to program the character even more. You made him look the way you wanted him to look. Him or her, I don't discriminate.
You can't anymore.
Should have said that to begin with. I'm sorry.
You have any idea how many people you just offended?
I'm pretty sure I offended half the world.
More than likely.
1, 2, 3. Carry the 1. Yep.
All right. So now you need to make sure that your character moves the way you want him to move, and this applies to controls. Not excluding cutscenes, you need to make sure that your character moves exactly the way he was meant to. And
or she.
Just for the record, having said that, I know
Or
that
she.
made like 0 sense. He or she. Thank you.
Hey, can I just point out the glitches and when we're ghosts and we get to go through the wall? That makes it the most fun. Dominic?
Yeah, but see, even it might be fun for some.
Did you ever learn how to type? I'm sorry, I gotta say that. It once again, I've known Dominic for probably the better part of 4 or 5 years now.
It's almost as long as me.
I've known this man for X amount of years.
Pretty much.
Just going back to that argument.
It's been quite a while.
All right.
Mary, Mother, and Joseph.
Yes, my child.
Now, the hard part to a game is always going to be the programming. Now, you think the creation stage, like the concept stage, is hard? No, the programming is way harder. It's like a scientist throwing up a hypothesis. Now, you may think that the hypothesis is the hard part. No, it's the experiment. And you need to figure out exactly how you want your game to roll. If you get it wrong, that's it. It's over. You might be able to fix it on down the line, but given this day and age, it's really difficult to come back from that kind of screw-up.
Well, let's face it, in this day and age, we are in the technical era. Nothing gets forgotten.
Exactly.
Except the good stuff. Internet. Whenever you do the good stuff always gets forgotten. I'll never forget my junior year of high school, the dean of discipline, not that I was in there a lot for reasons that involved me. It's just, he was a cool dude, and I hung out with him quite a bit. On campus, not after hours. Not like that.
Yeah, I think we get what you're
Shut up. Anyways, but there was a poster in his office my junior year that said, it had a little picture of a puppy dog that was crying and all that other fun stuff, and said, whenever I do good, no one remembers, but whenever I do wrong, no one forgets. And, that's very true. Oh,
It is really true. The moment you screw up, it's going to stick with you.
Okay.
And especially in the games industry nowadays, at least when it comes to me. There are multiple game industries who I will not name that I am just fed up with because they did A or B. Just take your pick. And it's really difficult to mess with me when it comes to a game. And it's not that they made their games buggy, it's just that they did something to their games that I didn't like.
So it's more of a personal preference.
We'll get into that later. Into what makes a game good.
I can see that later, but I can see that later. We're gonna have an episode. Oh God, I don't have what it takes to break this. Yeah. Games Angel doesn't like, and why? Okay, you want to fight? Let's fight. All right, I believe it is that time.
All right, I'll throw down.
Ow! Hey! Not so tough now, huh?
All right.
Says the guy's shot full of arrows.
Shut up.
You can't deny it.
And then there's that one that's just like directly between your eyes. That's just hilarious. And there's a giant spider down below you, by the way, Angel. Ow! Okay, I'm sorry.
I see angry.
Oxen free.
Okay, you know what? I would like a suit or a sword or something.
Really? I am Iron Man.
It wasn't. Can I have a sword or something? Because I just feel so naked.
Come here. Come up to my little house, and I'll give you a little bit of a wooden sword. Not like you're gonna be able to do much with it because it's a wooden sword.
Well, right now it's better than nothing.
All right. So you said it's that time.
Yep.
So what exactly are you talking about?
Oh, it is the time
to reading comments.
Well, actually, I've been reading comments and being a good host this whole time and actually interacting via the chat.
Oh, by the way, do you have an apple or something?
Hold on.
Wait, no, I got some
okay.
No,
I'm going to be going dark for a second while the dogs decide to do all their barking.
All right. So while he's gone, I'm just going to continue on my little conversation.
And I'm just going to be here and kind of interact if I can, when I can.
Yeah. For one, there are a ton of things you can get wrong in the programming stage. And anyone who has played a video game for longer than an hour should know this. Like, Mr. Knight, if you don't mind me calling you that. Name any glitch or programming error whatsoever that you found in a game.
Okay, let's see. Let me think.
Now you're asking a lot.
Just name a glitch.
Okay, you know what? I got one right off the top of my head. It was when GTA Online first came out. The Harry Potter glitch. When you're walking up under a bridge and you just run straight through it.
That does seem like a very interesting glitch.
And it still works to this day. They have not fixed it at all. And by the way, there's a zombie on fire over there in the distance.
All right. Well, all of these glitches are pretty much the equivalent of technical error, meaning that it was never fully intended, but it happened anyways. And this could be for a number of reasons. Most of the time, no one saw it coming. Sometimes it was intentional. Other times it was unintentional, but it works, so you keep it. And no one knows really the true cause to begin with. Like, let's say there's a teleportation glitch where I walk to a certain room and I'm instantly teleported to like 5 different enemies that haven't spawned in yet.
That's a very specific glitch.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we'll just leave that one alone for now. We'll come back to that at a later date.
The thing is, I know it was unintentional, but it's so annoying.
Well, really, I say it depends on what glitch it is, and then it can get annoying or it can be fun.
Yes. And I can name a couple of glitches where, like, I had fun with them. But at the same time, the glitches aren't meant to be exploited in a game. In fact, there should be no glitches whatsoever in the perfect game. Now, I do note that the perfect game doesn't exist. But you can get pretty close to a good game with what you have.
Well, you know, to certain people, depending on their taste, they have their own feel of what the perfect game is.
True. Me, I don't think that there is a perfect game out there. But there are good games, and you cannot undermine a good game.
Very true.
If it plays its cards right, you got to give it props.
True, true.
Agree.
So, I guess the question is, what do we consider a good game? What makes a good game?
For one, you need to figure out. There are multiple ways you can start, and this goes back to the conceptual stage. What do you want your game to be? Well, first off, maybe you should have an understanding of your audience. Who are you trying to appeal to?
Like, what age groups? Are you trying to make it for little kids?
All right.
Trying to make it for teenagers or adults?
Well, let's
Not
face
just
it.
age groups.
We all know a particular franchise with a 3-letter name was geared towards more teenagers / adults, and it has turned into being nothing but little kids. Come here, little piggy. You're going to
Agreed.
die today.
I could also think of a 4-letter franchise that was the same thing back in the day.
I wasn't talking to you. Go lay down.
Oh, you know what?
And
I
now-
think I know what you're talking about. But I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. And in fact, there was another first-person shooter. So,
Was there a lot of jumping involved?
no.
Oh, well,
Maybe.
never mind. I don't know. Oh. Well, let's see. I got food going.
Now that
I've got the
you
mind
understand what
going.
your audience wants, that's, before I continue, I'm going to say the biggest mistake that an industry can make is failing to even attempt to understand what the audience wants. By treating the audience you are trying to appeal to with contempt, you show that you care absolutely zero for them. And therefore, I believe that the same response should be given. Like, oh, you released a game, but in the planning stages, you asked for our feedback and did absolutely nothing with it.
Yeah, that's what betas are for.
Like,
Oh yeah, but even then,
Yeah.
sometimes most companies will keep the beta, the actual game the same as the beta.
true.
They'll only tweak it
And-
slightly.
And there's been a few betas that I've played in which I thought it was like, maybe 5% of the game. Like, there was a certain first-person shooter that I played the beta for. And I thought it was good. I thought it was 5% of the game. It set up its story in such a way that you could get interested in it. However, to my surprise, when I got the actual game, the beta, when the game first came out, was actually 25% of the game.
Wow.
And
You
that's
know-
why I don't trust betas anymore. There was one beta I played in which it was literally just the full game.
Wow. That brings me back to, you can think of a beta almost as a trial of a game. That brings me back on my PS2 days. I had a game, or actually a game that I got came with a second disc, and ooh, I just found an optical glitch. Heh. Hey, we got a what'd you call it? A ravine almost directly underneath of us.
Mark the location. That's another thing.
Oh,
Glitches are, in essence, unintentional. And depending on what they are, they can make or break a game.
Okay,
if
you
they're
know what?
annoying-
I can kind of think of one. Oh, well, continue,
If they're
continue. I'm sorry about that.
annoying as all else, like let's say you keep dying because of a glitch, that breaks the game. That's it. You fling your controller into the air. You just go screw it. That's it. That's the end
Should
of
I
it.
point
You
out
don't
creepers in that case then?
want- Maybe.
Yeah,
Just gonna leave that there.
that might be best.
But there
So-
are glitches that are unintentional that actually aid the game. I could think of one in which there was
Creepers?
a glitch where... You know what? Let's just use creepers. Let's skip my example and go for
Skip your
creepers.
carefully
Those-
planned out example and go right to the chase with the creepers. I love it.
And I would just
Yep.
like to point out that he's been rehearsing this for the past 2 hours, folks.
Yep, and I just killed it
No.
with creepers. But he'll never admit it because of pride.
You're the one who actually thought this up, so.
No,
And you're the one
my
who kept making all the last-minute changes, so.
I keep making last minute changes. You are the one that said, "Hey, let's talk about what makes a game." It's like, or what makes a good game. Okay, but instead of just what the heck was that sound?
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
Nope, there's something going on in the game. I don't know what it is. I will figure it out.
There's a disturbance in the force.
Oh yeah,
Let's
there
just
is.
point that out.
But
Anyway, you were saying?
I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought, and then I remember that I was talking about my PS2 days, and then we started talking about glitches. There was a game that I had that the company that was in charge of manufacturing that particular game, which Black Knight knows that game pretty well too. It's actually one of the reasons we met.
Yeah.
But they, the same company also produced and I've never seen this other than that one time. They produced a demo disc that had probably a dozen different demos out of their games, and you got to play the demos all on one disc, which I actually thought was pretty cool because, I was the PS2. Everything was on a disc. There was no digitally downloading a game. It was unheard of unless you were on a PC. So
classics. Don't you just miss those days?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no. And as far as a beta goes, that's what I consider a beta. I consider a beta as a little demo of the game. So, in all honesty, the demo just helps me determine whether, or the beta helps me determine whether I'm going to buy the game or not, which is what a demo is for.
True.
I played the what was the Tom Clancy one that came out recent or a little while ago? Just a few months ago.
What, you mean Wildlands?
No, not Wildlands. I actually did the beta for Wildlands. The closed beta.
I got the beta too. Oh yeah.
Was it the Division?
Yes, The Division. I played that. Did not like it. I have yet to buy the game. Everybody keeps telling me it's different. Eventually. Actually, as a matter of fact, I played the Destiny closed beta too, and I didn't care for that. And now I have Destiny, but I've yet to actually put it in and play it.
Just for the record, that whole thing that was the whole 25% of the game thing, that was Destiny for me.
Well, I will say this. I even played the beta before I got the actual game. They are completely different now. They actually are completely different.
All right, well, that's good to know.
I know that they made changes later on. It's just when the game first came out, the beta was pretty much 25% of the game.
And yeah, I can agree with that.
Well, we've got about another 15 minutes left in this segment, and then we're actually going to take a quick break and split this up into a second hour. But during this time, let's think about this. Another thing that helps make a good game, or actually a great game, is the fact that they keep rolling out updates and constantly improve it. Would you agree on that?
Oh,
I would definitely agree on that, because that shows that they're actually invested in some small way to keep their fan base invested.
Yeah, even if they're making...
I know that I said that word twice.
Yeah, well, vested and invested are two different things, actually. But, it shows... To me, it shows a commitment. If you're gonna commit enough to make the game, commit enough to keep it going, keep it alive, keep it breathing, at least until the next one hits. And yes, I know we're trying to avoid actual names here, but I'm just gonna go out and say it. GTA is doing a great job with that. I want to commend Rockstar. If I actually had a camera on me, I would give them a standing ovation at this point in time. So until then. But,
Oh, I will.
Yeah, you got to give them props.
The way they have done that over the years, I will. There is no way I will never ever stop being a fan of GTA.
Growing up, I was always kept off of that stuff. I mean, come on, I didn't even get to watch Yu-Gi-Oh frequently because of the magic in it. It's what you get living in a Christian house, or overly Christianized,
yeah.
I should say. But come to find out, like 10 years later, my dad has watched the entire Harry Potter series, read all the books,
And that just makes you want to punch him in the face.
not punch him, but when I distinctly remember the phone call we had when that was mentioned. I might have been using a roto hammer, which combines a drill with a sledgehammer.
Oh,
it's
I
meant
have
for,
one of those.
It's meant for drilling in concrete. I might have, let that rip while I was on the phone with him. It's kind of about as loud as a small jackhammer.
And
Yeah.
just as destructive.
Pretty much. So, yeah. Yeah, he knows I'm not too happy about that. But, beside the point. Yeah, no, GTA has done great, and to me,
And
it's
the way
just...
it's evolved over the years.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But in a way, it's kind of stayed the same if you think about it.
Yep, well, I actually didn't get to... I just started playing GTA. Has it already been a couple years? It's already been like 2 years. I started playing when the Heist update came out. That was what got me started with it. Is I heard my friends talking about it, and they're like, "Hey, come play this
Angel,
with
behind
us."
you, there's an
And,
Enderman.
let me kill the big black man.
Yeah, the Heist update
really?
revolutionized GTA Online. But
And because people were
you've
talking
already
about
given
it
them
for
their props.
years.
yeah,
People were talking about it for years, and then they finally the thing about Rockstar is they actually listen to their audience.
That's
In a
not just
small
part of
way.
a good game. That's part of a good game developer.
yeah,
that too.
but it's also what makes a game good. That's another thing that I wanted to bring up, but I'll bring it up in the next segment.
I kind of want to I kind of want to lay the bedrock for the next segment, if you don't mind. In the next segment, I would like to start it off with what makes a game terrible. Basically, what has been our prime issues for... I don't know why I'm looking up the staircase from which I have mined, say, as if I'm shouting to the heavens. And then
lo
a
and behold,
black
I'm right
heavenly
here.
angel
Yay.
is falling on me.
Well, an actual angel sits atop his wooden house looking down upon you.
If you see that
Ooh.
Enderman, tell him I said hi.
I found a cave.
I'm not going down there. No.
I was
Alright,
about to
so
hit
next-
you. I was about to hit you
Next
down there.
segment, we will be talking about what makes a game terrible.
Ooh la
And
la.
then
Oh,
I'm
God!
guessing
Hey,
later
hey,
on
hey,
we'll
son of a-
get what?
I got pushed down here. I'm gonna die. Stay out of my hole. Stay out of my hole. Stay
I'm going
out of
up.
my hole. You stay out of my hole. No,
For
no, no.
those who
Stay,
are gonna
stay
be
down there so
listening
my
to this
stuff
in the
spawns.
Podcast,
Stay down there so my stuff
Maverick
respawns.
is
Or stay
talking
small.
about a cave that he has mined, and he
And
just
I
got
got
murdered by a
pushed
skeleton.
in. I got pushed in by Black Knight. See if I ever let you co-host again. Where's my skeleton? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are, you little piece of girl. You're gonna die today. You're gonna learn.
Really?
I still got.
You just gonna, you just,
Yes. Would you?
All
Would
right.
you rather me go?
Oh,
Would you rather me go?
Found him.
John Cena. Da, da, da,
Please,
da.
no.
He's
No.
dead.
Oh, God,
Stop! Stop!
please, for the love of everything decent, if you start doing that, I will just. Let's just say
You're gonna push
you'll
me
wake up with a
again?
sledgehammer
You're gonna
in your-
push me again? You're gonna
no,
push
let's
me
just say
again?
you'll wake up with a sledgehammer in your ear. Oh crap, lava! I did not see that coming. Yeah.
I did.
All
Why
right.
did you have a better
After
sword
we're
than me?
done
Isn't that nice?
discussing what
It's
makes a game
stone.
terrible, I'm thinking maybe we could get back onto what makes a game good, or great, or even legendary, because there's a few legendary games out there.
Yeah, it would be nice
Well, let
to
me just say
talk
this:
about
if a
legendary.
the name of a game has lasted more than say 4 years, then it's a pretty good game.
But is that including series or just one title?
Well, I would say a series.
Exactly.
Really.
No, I wouldn't. I would have to disagree on that. But we should get to that in the next segment because our time's almost up, right?
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes.
Indubitably.
But we're still
All
talking.
right.
I believe we were still talking about updates and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Remaining
Now-
up to date.
Now, the thing about updates is when you make an update, you need to actually listen to your fan base. And there are a few game developers that actually do this. They follow up with their fan base, and everything seems to work out better in the end because the developers get what they want, the gamers who follow them get what they want, and it's all just nice, peachy, so to speak. But then there's the game developers that, when they make a game and they make these updates, they just don't care.
Yo, been
They
there,
don't
done that.
care about. Oh yeah, and I don't want to name the game that I have the biggest scrap about for this, so I'm just going to remain oblivious to it. That was the worst way to make that comparison. Let's just say I'm not going to be naming names. But any game who makes an update and says that they're invested for the people while at the same time making an update that has nothing that the players wanted. They don't even acknowledge what the players want in their announcements or anything like that. That's what makes
I
it's
would
just
say
horrible.
I would say part of making a horrible update. Did you seriously starve again?
I'm busy working on my house, and this is my
Dude,
third
do you want
life.
to bring you some steak or something?
Yes, please. I love steak.
I love everything decent.
So that happened.
Bring me a New York strip.
Nope. All we've
How do you
got
want
is
it
prime
done?
rib.
All right.
No, I think a terrible update idea is an update that literally does nothing but makes the company money. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are a business, they are out there to make money. That's the point of having a business. But when you don't listen to what your customers want and all you do is make stuff that requires them to purchase content, then that in my opinion is just a crappy update. Ooh, mushrooms. Hey
here, you
guys,
can cook
I
these.
found an abandoned mine shaft.
Thanks.
I'm coming.
I'm gonna go down there and explore soon, but I'm kind of trying to make sure I have a house so that I don't die. And
That's a good idea. I think I should.
though
build a
I do
place
agree
too.
with you about
Seriously?
the updates.
Seriously?
An update that's designed for
What the
money
heck?
alone is not really a good idea, especially if it's supposed to scam the people out of their hard-earned cash, either by limiting them in the game currently or by making it impossible to advance without the update.
I want to know why I just found a chest and a minecart and it's empty.
The world may never know.
This is the biggest FU Minecraft has ever given me. And I've
I'm
done
starting to
some
think they
pretty
just don't like you.
and I've done some pretty FU stuff to Minecraft. For those of you
Maybe
who don't
it's
know,
supposed to be Minecraft's revenge.
there
And I can vouch for some of those.
there was a time where I found a way that and for anybody interested, it's already been fixed. There's no doing it anymore. There was a way that you could get and place spawners, and if you did it right, you could actually mess with them and change the settings on them. This was PC, but I made a terrible game. I took and I made a creeper spawner, and then I messed with the settings and set the range where you had to be literally standing on top of it. And the timer, I changed the frequency of the spawn, and the game was go stand on top of the spawner for 20 seconds. If a creeper spawns and you kill it, you win. If it blows up and kills you, you lose. Almost everybody lost. You remember that, Black Knight?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You don't
It was
want to,
fun.
but you don't want to, but you do.
Yeah, I tried to push that back outside my mind in the very, very corner in which it would be deleted, but apparently not.
I
Thank
want
you
to
for
know
bringing that back
how.
up to mind.
You're welcome. I want to know how mushrooms have any sort of a light effect on them.
Because Minecraft and why not?
All right. Now, here's a little bit of an update that I don't like to see. And it's in there's what I like to call hypocritical updates, in which the update completely undermines
The previous update,
the
that was it good?
no, it just undermines the purpose of the game or what the game developers have been talking about what the update's for. Like, let's say there's a game where there's a certain level and they keep saying that, oh, you need to use teamwork, you need to use strategy, you need to use the ultimate skill and plan your way around if you have any hope of succeeding, right? Now they come out with an update. Except the update isn't what you're expecting. That update, in retrospect, would completely and utterly destroy the concept of planning and strategy, and instead replacing it with random chance and roll of the dice.
Why can't you play chess on GTA? They have checkers, don't they? Why
No.
don't they don't have checkers? Why don't they have
No.
checkers in GTA?
I mean, they got darts, they got arm wrestling, they got
That's not checkers.
Because in the game, the people who you play against would sooner shoot you than look at you.
Very
True.
Very true.
I hear lava.
Which reminds me, we need to get back on GTA. We haven't done that in a while.
Eventually.
Any
Where's the
update
lava?
that intentionally messes with the core of what the developers say the game is about. Especially when its fan base is screaming at it not to.
While we're talking about that, can I ask what is Minecraft actually about? Like, seriously.
The story or the version we have right now?
Well, I mean, I've played halfway through the story mode. I stopped
I've
buying
only
them.
played the first part.
It's all right.
In all
Just
honesty,
don't play it when you're
it's not-
tired.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
in all
not
honesty,
bad, but it's not
bad,
great.
Yeah. I mean, it's something you'd play if you get really, really, really bored.
That's kind of the reason I played it. Aha! I knew there had to be more.
Anyway, you were saying?
I was saying there's a zombie over here that's about to die. You're gonna learn today. That was shockingly easy.
And there's a bat. Die! Well, that was anticlimactic.
Now,
Kind
when
of.
it comes to good updates, the good updates are introducing something new. Something fresh to revitalize the game. A bad update is taking the core of the game and just messing with it. And not in the good kind. Kind of like, let's say I wanted to make a comparison, it's like saying you wanted to make a chocolate cake, but instead stuffed meatloaf inside of it. That's the comparison. You had a great idea to begin with, and then you just turned it into something horrible.
Please keep my stuff.
I don't have that much room. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make 2 chests, and I'm gonna put my stuff in one, your stuff in the other.
Can you make a hole leading up so I know exactly where to go? Because I'm not going all the way back down there because I might get lost and hit the lava again.
No, there's torches. Just when you go down, take a right.
Okay. Here I come. Whee! You know, we really should put like a minecart system going down this long shaft.
Nah, I want to put stairs. I might do minecarts eventually, but not immediately.
Oh, crap. Mav, fair warning. Watch your head because a creeper just dropped down on the ceiling! Oof. Well, that
Sounds
was
like somebody's having an adventurous evening.
a let's say it's more boom than adventurous.
I'm picking up the XP from all the coal that you stole from me.
Oh, you little.
Too late.
I think
It's
we
already
actually
picked up.
kind of went.
Not
I think
you.
we
I'm
actually
getting
kind
double.
of covered half of our next segment's topic.
Yeah,
already.
well, speaking of which, it is that time.
All right.
That's all, folks.
Talk about ending with a boom.
In like 5 minutes, and then after that we'll be back.
Pretty much.
Yep.
We'll be back in 5, folks.
Don't go anywhere.
You never know what you're going to miss. I mean, come on. What are we going to say next?